I'm going to do a little more reading in this sales training than I normally do because I wrote some things down. I find sometimes when I do that, at least I get the points I want in, and sometimes it's not as flowing as I would shoot for. But I'm going to cover a little bit on marketing and a lot as relates to website. I want to emphasize the importance of your personalized website. Make no mistake, you absolutely need a website. You build it, people. You need a website more individualized. Take advantage of the mini sites. Your website has to be a good one. Your customers are probably going to visit it before they contact you. I think I can dang near guarantee you your customers are going to visit your website before they contact you. But a website, oh my gosh, I can't emphasize this enough, is not advertising. Advertising gets people to the website. The website is not advertising. It is a crazy high-tech answering machine that can answer as many conceivable questions that your customer might ask that you're willing to answer. But you still have to get the customer to call. You think I'm using that as a lead-in for advertising? I'm not going to. The point is, don't have just one, don't have just the other. Let's assume you're doing your job on advertising. And please be aware, your website, I love that imagery, is a crazy high-tech answering machine. But it is not advertising. Advertising gets them there. People are going to go from there, and then they're going to decide, are they going to contact you? So it's got to be the best you can, the most wicked cool high-tech answering machine ever. There's an old story told. I heard somebody tell it again the other day, is what made me think of it. And most people tell it in the first person. It's better if you do, and I should show you the respect of doing it that way. I just never can. It always feels disingenuous to me. But the story goes that a guy goes to a hotel room, and he gets to looking around, and he freaks out. He stresses out. He gets afraid, terrified. And what it was is he looked over and he saw the HBO guide. You know, they have HBO and they put those old-fashioned 1970s HBO guides so you know what's coming on. And he got it and he looked at it and he realized it was over 2 months old. Now you would think, why would that terrify him? Why would that cause such horror? What does he think? The point is, if something this simple, if this level of detail was overlooked, if they didn't pay attention to trading out the free guide, HBO sends it to them, the free guide, throwing away the old one and putting in the new one. If the staff cleaning the room didn't pay attention to detail to such a blatantly obvious and simple and free thing, what else did they miss? And you pause and let the cuteness and humor of that get into your head and you realize, holy shit, that's scary. I mean, if they can't go, oh, it's time to, here's the new ones, let's throw the old ones away and put the new one down. Did they clean under your toilet? Is your sink okay? What is on that bed? What's under the floor? Do you dare put your bare feet on that carpet, let alone in the base of the shower? If that's their attention to detail, now let me ask you a question. When we talk about your super high-tech answering machine, do you see the relevance? Is it 2 months out of date? And by the way, this message is more to my people than anyone. Guys, we're horrible at it. We talk a big game, but it takes effort to send that picture over. I have to go and look at it, and I have to attach it to an email and send it. I want to shop online. If we would quit shopping online and go through that horrible, brutal, oh man, harsh effort of taking the freaking picture, attaching it to the email, and sending it instead, holy cow, because that is how hard it is to change out the HBO guide. But when we spend literally $87,000 a month in advertising to get people to call our high-tech answering machine, and what it does is scare them, woof. So let's try to keep that up. And please don't tell me, oh, maybe you should hire somebody just for that job, because if you're paying $87,000, what's another two? That's great, except I already have people I'm paying to shop. They have the job and they have the time. I do not need to hire somebody else to do that job so that the other person I can pay to shop online for baby clothes or furniture or dog houses or whatever. We need to do that. Sorry, that was my chastisement. Anybody else that gets something from it, please do, because you could probably turn that back around. How many times do we look up that new car, look up the new way to connect this, or, oh, what's that fascinating story, because the Kardashians are amazing and we all need to know what they've got going on. How much time do we spend doing that instead of that very simple changing out that HBO guide? And what does it say to the client if we haven't? Now then, what does it say to the client if we have? It may not be a screaming thing, but guess what? No red flags is great. That speaks of quality. Now, jumping in, let's go website a little bit more. Design your website from the outside in. I hope this story makes sense. It was something that a good friend of mine named Paul Hamry up in Washington, Idaho area taught me years ago. And I'm ashamed to say that I didn't learn it until I was well into my 40s. Editors matter. And to explain it the best way I can, because it's the way he explained it to me that made me get it. The reason editors matter is this. When the writer writes, he knows exactly the intent. He knows what the words are supposed to say. He knows where they're supposed to lead. And he can never read it without that knowledge. Thus, it always is written correctly and always leads exactly where it's supposed to, intellectually and emotionally. However, other people do not have that knowledge in their head before they read the words. So the words may not fulfill the purpose to the extent the writer believes they do. The editor's job is to help to see those flaws and clean them up and help the writer to express them in the way that the writer is seeking to achieve it. Very, very important in ad writing, very, very important in your super high-tech answering machine message. How does your client think? How do you edit it to say what you want it to say to them in the way you want them to? Your customer doesn't know what they don't know. You have to reach them where they are. Just because you want them to know this, just because they should know this, just because if they know this, then they know that, and thus, obviously I'm such the greatest deal in history, is irrelevant. Nobody's going to go to your website and go, wow, I want to understand that. I'm going to go take night classes for a semester so I get it, so I can come back and make sense out of their website so that I can then realize the better value. How many of you know someone that will do that? That's right, nobody. None of us do. We'll go to the next one that says what they think it should say relative to where they're at. You have to speak to where they are. Say this all the time. Don't mislead, don't lie, don't be unethical, but speak in terminology that makes sense. You build it alone. Are we the better way to go? Of course, you have more say, you have more knowledge. Everything is detailed and laid out. By its very nature, you're going to have more options and stronger bones and stronger everything going in. It's absolute sheer fact. Are we a cleaner process? Holy cow, yes. There's not as much foolish waste going on, nor near the level of arrogance or laziness going on. Are we better for the client's happiness? Good gosh, yes. If nothing else, how much happier are you when you know what is going on in your life? Are we higher quality? Totally. Is it safer and less likely to be taken advantage of? Of course, the client has their own money. All that's there. But it takes so much knowledge to get where somebody can understand that. Less than 1% of your potential clients go into your super crazy high-tech answer machine are engineer mentality detailed enough that they will read the novel you would have to write, even if it was perfectly written, to understand that. Doesn't hurt to have that information in there for those that want that. I just advise you to make it a backdrop page, not your front. But I can meet them where they are. This is a Thomasons. They used You Build It. Loved You Build It. Highest quality thing ever, and I saved over 20%, which in my case equated to $43,000. You can handle this. Look at me. I look like you. If I can, you can. I saved that kind of money. Savings are real. It's there. Boom. That's enough info I can relate to contact you. Have some videos on your website. It will help. And yes, I know. I need to get mine updated too. Thank you very much. But meet them where they are. Meet them with what they understand. Meet them with what they know. Mention value of putting what they're looking for to help with search engine optimization. We are getting slightly more complicated. I will go fast. What are your people looking for? Mention the value of that. It really does help to get you higher. If somebody types in saving money on the home, better control, home design, higher quality home, whatever. If that's what they're going, have that in your articles and in your little blogs, and it will make you more likely to be found when the search engine optimization goes on. This next one's going to be too complicated for me. Know what your ad says. Know what your website says. Have your people know what it says. Know where you reached people. Don't reach people on savings and have them walk in the door and have your people think that you totally reached them on control, and that was what it was all about. They're going to sit there hammering, oh, you know we're about control. Yes, it's control. And you didn't focus on the thing that got them in the door, and they think, well, this is some bizarre bait and switch. Don't cook them on control, and then all you pitch is savings. Know what you're saying and know what's in there, and keep updated. And as always, do what you say you're going to do. So enough of those. I hope this gained some value to you. I know it did to me. God bless. Have a great day.